a number that you're at least looking for to get to with daily traffic? Do you know?
Threshold.
Yeah. Like, is it?
You know, before you can make money on it.
Yeah, at least something.
You probably need somewhere around. You need a few thousand hits.
A day.
I'd say a day. There are some services out. I think you pointed out one that will organize. Like, if you, for example, on YouTube, you could post a video to YouTube.
So that one that I mentioned the other day.
Yeah.
Blinks.
Blinks.
Like YouTube.
Yeah.
With ads.
So Blinks will help you put an ad. So if you have a popular YouTube, video up,
it feeds back to the provider.
if you get enough activity, they'll help you find advertising for it. So but that's the same basic idea. But of course, it's based on hits, eyeballs. There's some different metrics that they use, but it's basically traffic. How many people come and are interested in your site. But in some cases, you can charge transaction fees. For example, eBay, they'll charge a percentage, right, of the sale. Sometimes you can charge subscriptions, which like Second Life does in some cases. And sometimes you can sell virtual goods, which again, we're beginning to see that with Second Life. And although also some of the multiplayer games like EverQuest also allow for, I don't know if EverQuest allows it, but for some reason some of the games don't seem to like to allow the users to exchange virtual goods. You know, like if you're playing in a game and you got some really cool tool, hammer that can kill everybody, then you can exchange that and buy and sell it in some of these games. And it's not a real hammer, it's a virtual hammer. I know you're familiar with that from Second Life. So in some cases there can be revenue from sale of virtual goods. In the case of the tactical and operational applications, now it's not a whole business. Now you're an existing business that wants to set up a user forum. It could be an innovation forum. I'll show you some of the options there. But there you're typically not going to be charging for it. What you're trying to do there is really use the community to enhance your current business operation. So the trick there is to get a community and host it in a way that aligns with your corporate goals. And sometimes you have to think creatively about it. I recently saw a company called Ally. Has anybody heard of this? Probably not. You all look pretty slender here.
For diet?
Yeah, it's a new diet system. I saw it at CBS the other day. And very prominently displayed was the Ally diet system. Okay, access to our community of Ally users to help you. All right, so think about it. Diet system, that's the kind of product where you really need, it's not just using the product, you need that kind of emotional support and talking to other people in the same boat and so forth. So Ally, as part of their product offering, has decided to host this user support community where customers who buy Ally help other customers who buy Ally. Now, that community it satisfies its own needs. All these people are doing it because they want to do it. But, and nobody gets charged for it. But the reason Ally does it is because it improves their product offering. It makes their product more attractive. Yes?
I was going to say, it also presents a little bit of a liability where I was using a product one. When they come out with the second generation of it, they left the entire infrastructure of the community just hanging, so they died out.
Yeah.
Not that they didn't add anything, but they stopped all the infrastructure.
Interesting. Yeah. And that's an example of how business doesn't understand this a lot of times. And, they may have hurt their chances of restarting this again. People remember. Now, I'm going to try to get into the meat here, and I'll go through it kind of quickly. We've identified 5 different markets. So the way we define markets these are basically communities that have common purposes. So, if you want to host a community, pretty much it will fall into one of these 5 markets, although sometimes you see crossovers. So you can host communities who are involved in socializing. They help their members to socialize with each other. There are communities for gaming, where they need to play, the members want to play a game with each other. You have knowledge sharing, which is fairly broad, but it's basically sharing knowledge. So these communities involve people who teach and learn, give and seek advice, express and consider opinions, and so forth. The development communities that includes your open source software, but there's also communities for innovation where problems are posted and then solutions are sought after. And then finally you have exchange communities, and of course those are the ones like eBay where people are in communities involved in buy-sell, but it also involves seeking online content like YouTube. So there you're not buying or selling, but you are exchanging. Goods are available, but in this case they're digital goods. Or it can be finding individuals for personal or business relationships. So that'd be like an eHarmony or a Match.com or something like that. Okay. So we put that into exchange because even though it's not goods, you can, like you say, it's service. But the whole idea is a matter of matching, an exchange of one person and another who want a relationship with them. So within each one of these, it's important to define these because once you're looking at exchange community, you can look at other communities in that same category or market to help you to identify ideas for improving your ideas. So this is where we get into the meat now of what maybe even will hopefully help you after I'm done as you start thinking about your own ideas. And this just kind of puts them on a timeline. There's the 5 markets. Again, you can see a lot of the activity is recent, so that just gives you a little bit of background. Okay, so here's hosting. So far we've identified 15 hosting models. So within those 5 markets, there's 15 different ways of hosting a virtual community. Each model is basically defined by that platform. Because remember, that's what the host does. The host provides the platform. So it turns out the way you design the platform affects the kind of community that you can attract. And again, design involves not only the technical features, but also the rules and the policies. Now I'm going to go through one of the key technical design options that you're going to have, and this, I think for you to understand this will help you in envisioning opportunities that you can take advantage of, is what we're calling the interaction space. So if communities are people that come together and interact, this is exactly where the rubber hits the road. This is where that interaction is happening. And there's basically 5 different kinds, and I'm going to give you an example of each. So here's the list. Let me just go through it, and you'll see visually what I'm talking about. The first interaction space, threaded discussion. So this is your typical blog. So in a threaded discussion, somebody makes an initial posting of some message. In this case, this is Jamie McCullough. And then this person, Howard Cole, responded. Janie responded to that. And then this David Crowley responded to that. So first of all, you're basically having a space where people can send messages, but the threading means that you actually, when this person sends the message, they designate that they're responding to this person. So it's almost like you were in a room and you could talk to each other, but it's not all synchronous. This happens over time. This happened at one time, another, and so forth. So this is one type of space in which you can interact. The second type of space is kind of a personal space. MySpace is a good example, but there's others like Facebook, and then you'll see there's some other examples as well. So there, you create this space or a website, if you will, of your picture, your interests, videos about you, all different types of things. And then here's where the interaction occurs. You have your friends. So you're kind of linking from your space site to other space sites. The third type is a virtual landscape. Now, I could have put up here Second Life, because there, as you all know, the interaction happens when your avatars actually get together in this kind of virtual real geography area, right? But there's also some games like ESPN Poker where people get together in this virtual poker table. And it's the same concept, but just looking at it in a different way. So here's where people can come together and interact, and in this case, play a poker game within this space. The fourth type is a text-based repository. So here is a repository, think of it just like a collection, like an encyclopedia in a sense, of articles that are text. But the key is right here, this little word edit. That's the wiki part. So that's where if you click on that, and anybody can do that right now, and go click on it, and you can make changes to this. So that's where the interaction occurs here. Now here you can see it's kind of indirect. You don't actually talk to a person, but it's through the repository, through the document that you interact. And lastly, there's other kinds of repositories. For example, e-opinions. This is, so here you see unbiased reviews by real people. So on this particular product,